At 24, my father was a grad student, husband, and father of two. But when he looked in the mirror, he still saw a bachelor. His popularity and Sean Connery good looks led to 48-hour binges with his Cornell frat brothers. Mom's ultimatum, me and the kids or the drinking, your choice, was delivered with a doe-eyed toddler on each hip. He chose, and I grew up in a dry household. Dad spent weekends cheerfully chauffeuring us to birthday parties, patiently teaching us chess, and laughing together at Marx Brothers movies. He never played catch. Instead, arming us with pen knives and magnifying glasses, he shared his passion for hiking. He recited Shakespeare along the trail in hopes that we, too, would learn to cherish his pal Bill. He succeeded. Macbeth's witches captivated our attention on those hikes, and we were hooked. The summer I turned 12, my parents divorced. I traveled by train to visit my father's new apartment in Greenwich Village. The furnished sublet felt unsettling. No family pictures, no collie underfoot, and a musty convertible couch that swallowed the room when opened. The galley kitchen had a tiny stove, tiny fridge, and I remember seeing my first wine bottle there. The dark green bottle on the Formica counter stood on a reddish stain. A nearby juice glass held the same red residue. It looked sloppy and somehow out of place. When asked about it, Dad said wine was something you needed at a bachelor pad. I'm a bachelor now. He was no bachelor. For the next 15 years, an inexpensive Cabernet was his spouse. His love for family never wavered, but wine, the companion that sapped his self-worth, became an obstacle every visit. Hopes would start high, then plummet as his rosy glow gave way to self-pity. My siblings and I contemplated interventions that never materialized. We loved him, but this rekindled relationship with wine baffled us. We were unable to intervene, and years passed. My father's lips were stained dark red when he spun through the hospital's revolving door. He came to an abrupt stop and wobbled into the lobby. "What floor is your sister on? Let's go." Anticipating becoming a grandpa, he'd been celebrating before he got the call. We hugged and headed up to the maternity ward. I held the 8-pound bundle in my arms as his grandpa peered over my shoulder. "Well, this is something all right," a little too loud. We said our goodbyes and headed out together. Returning to the lobby, he stumbled and landed heavily on the naugahyde chair, regret clouding his features. "I should have brought flowers. Why didn't I stop for flowers?" "Dad, your baby's had a baby. You're a grandpa now. Isn't it amazing?" "Yeah, but I should have brought your sisters flowers or candy, something. What a dope." 5 hours old, the baby was already taking a backseat to the self-absorbed musings of a man who wouldn't move out of his own way. I couldn't accompany him on his poor me spiral again. The weight of missing my dad as he sat right across from me was too heavy that night. "Dad, I'm not going to be around you anymore when you're drinking. I'm not asking you to stop. That's your choice. But I'm going to make sure wine doesn't wreck our time together." I don't know how he severed ties with that green bottle. We never discussed it. But Dad returned to us intact that summer. A year later, I asked him to babysit my newborn, his first granddaughter. Would you stroll her around the lake while I get dinner started? Speechless, his eyes welled up and met mine. I nodded, and we both understood. It was time for her first Shakespeare lesson. Thank you.